Welcome back to video number 4 in the 4-part series of how to maximize the impact of utilizing your 2024 Lunar Planner Calendar. I'm Shannon Murray of Lunar Ladies. I'm so excited to take you on the last phase of the journey. We're heading into third quarter waning phase that moves into the final phase of the lunar cycle, the balsamic phase. And if you watched video number 3, I said it was my favorite phase, the balsamic phase. Why? I was born under the balsamic phase. Do you know what moon phase you were born under? If you don't, you need to contact me and hang out with me in my Patreon community and my Lunar Ladies Facebook group, and you will find out why, why that's important, how cool it is that you know, and then how you can maximize your personal alignment power every time that lunar phase comes around each lunar cycle. It's really cool. Okay, now if you don't have by this time in the 4-part series, if you don't have the 2024 Lunar Planner Calendar yet, go to the description box, find the link, sign up to go get it for free, and then start using it. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the final phase of a lunar cycle. We are down here, third quarter moon to the balsamic moon. So this is the time when it's the final week of the lunar cycle that began with the new moon that initiated and refined as a crescent, took action in the first quarter, had a party in the gibbous, celebrated at the full moon, started giving out thanks and compliments and the disseminating. Now we're in the third quarter. The final square, the final countdown. So again, the sun and moon form a square. This time it's a waning square. So in the first quarter, we had a 90-degree angle. This is a 270-degree angle. So 3 times 90 for all my math people out there. So what's happening is the moon is coming inward. Where was it when we started the lunar cycle? It was inward, where it was conjunct sun and moon. Now the sun is forcing the moon back in, but the moon wants to go because that's where it's home. It's the moon is synonymous with the core root energy of yourself as a spirit having a human experience. That's why it's very important to know your natal moon sign, energy, house, and phase. Because just like we say, oh, I was born this day, and that makes me a Cancer or a Virgo or a Libra, right? That's your sun sign. But your moon sign is the energy that really describes and paints the image of your core root self from the sign that it's in, the house that it's in your natal chart, and the phase it was in while you were born. So if you think about, you're one of these 8 phases in your lunar chart. So were you born under a disseminating moon or new moon, a third quarter, a balsamic? It speaks a lot about how you align with the body through the emotional field and conscious awareness. Okay, but find out more about that when you start connecting with me, either one-to-one. I do natal oracle readings and customized medicine, blended medicine readings that are so cool. Mastermind groups, and then of course in my Patreon community in the subscriber levels, you get to all access to my courses and my workshops and access to me sharing about what the heck is going on at any given moment. Okay, without further ado, let's showcase the third quarter moon. It's all about reflection and letting go. So the moon is now coming back home after it's been all out with the new moon, setting intentions, taking action, coming into fruition. And now what? It's returning home. And this is a time when now that you've changed from the 3 weeks of action and awareness that you've been granted by following consciously with the moon and the sun. Now you're different. So you want to come home and go, okay, what's changed? How do I feel? And because I've changed and I've shifted, I let things go, I've worked through obstacles, I've head on challenges. I showed myself how strong I am. What do I need as a support moving forward in this new version of me? And you'll find those answers by reflecting and supporting yourself. This is where you begin to listen to that inner voice. You start clearing your environment. It's a great week to let things go, like declutter, Throw things away, like Marie Kondo. I haven't used it in a year, it's out of here. You start slowing down because you're finishing projects, you're letting things go, you're accessing your tools that help slow you down, like meditation or breath work or prayer. Right? Remember in the first quarter, waxing moon, we're out dancing and moving our bodies. Third quarter, we're inward, we're slowing down, we're resting, we're caring, we're coming inward, we're reading, or doing things that help us support our more of our stillness side. That brings you into a beautiful harmonic balance. And then 3 days later, as the sign of the new moon returns, that's the balsamic moon. It's come home. And this is where we surrender to be renewed. And the balsamic moon phase is it's like 2 to 3 days before the next new moon. And it really is the energy of the seed. That's where the seed gets formed. The new moon is when it gets put into the earth and starts to activate with intention. But the seeds, the energetic blueprint of a new moon, it happens at the ending of a cycle because it's giving birth to a new cycle. So surrender to that divine mother energy of the moon. Rest with self-care. Go to bed early. Cord cutting is really powerful to do at the balsamic moon because it's endings. Anything you need to end, do it on a balsamic moon. And this is where you're so released and quiet and clear and clean, and you're just so inward. This is where you can step into the void, where you become a creator, right? You merge with the creator. So let's go into our ritual checklist to see what other things we can do at the third quarter in the balsamic moon. Finish those to-do lists. Reflect on your needs. Let go. Forgive. That's a good one. Rest in self-care. And then the balsamic, shadow work, tarot, cutting cords, whatever you need to do, burning things, freeing the energy. Start allowing yourself to move into the void, which is the place of all possibility. Begin seeding your future cycle for the next new moon. And allow yourself a way to cross the threshold. I like using tarot cards or oracle cards that will help me tune into that deeper wisdom. And it's just such a powerful time to do that. So then we go up to our final weekly planner phase, third quarter to balsamic, Monday to Sunday, or whenever it starts. You're going to get those moon signs, what sign is the third quarter, what sign is the balsamic. And a good hint is the balsamic moon sign will be the same moon sign as that new moon where it all began. And that's when you know you've returned home, and then the next lunar cycle is going to start in the next following zodiac sign. So this way you'll know what houses in your natal chart this is taking place, and you'll be able to focus your attention and set your priorities with the theme of those houses and make it each lunar cycle personal for you. And this is where you're going to let it all go. Okay. And it's really a good time, like when you start to realize that you have slowed down and started to merge with the bigger environment around you. And when the living sky is quiet and you're quiet, and when the living sky is busy, you're busy, it's such a shift in the way that your body is connecting with energy and feeling resourced. Because a lot of times over the last 10 years of doing this work with larger communities is so many people have been like, oh my God, I had this terrible pattern of every third quarter week. I was like crazy busy and doing stuff and starting things and getting nowhere. It's like swimming upstream. And I said, oh, great. Now you can just do those slight shifts and be busy and planning and doing things in the waxing cycle and be letting things go and cleaning things up and finishing things in the waiting cycle. And I tell you, major shifts happen in people's lives when they just do that simple reorientation with connecting with the living sky and the inner living sky. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you joining me on this 4-part video series. And I really appreciate you getting that lunar calendar and putting it into action and coming over and joining me in Patreon and subscribing to the Lunar Ladies YouTube channel and heading on over to Facebook, whichever social media platform you like to utilize the best. Join me there. YouTube, Facebook, Patreon. And I really appreciate your love, your support. I have a Ko-Fi channel that, you know, if you can't join the membership tiers in Patreon, you can always send me a coffee through Ko-Fi. So all those links are available here on my social media accounts here in the description box. You can always contact me, Shannon at lunarladies.com for any questions. And I hope to get a chance to read your natal chart and help you out. That would just be such my joy and my pleasure to do so. So thank you so much for taking on this challenge of reorienting yourself to live in harmony with the living sky, the inner sky, and making life so much easier in one of the most powerful years, the year of the dragon. Talk soon.